Hello, my name is Luke Lirot. I'm an attorney and I've been working in the adult entertainment industry for over 30 years. The reason I'm speaking to you is that I have a rare opportunity to suggest some business model changes that might be assisted through my friends at Froliic. As many of you know, there have been a spate of lawsuits brought under the Fair Labor Standards Act, which have resulted in awards of damages either through litigation or settlements in the tens of millions of dollars. 13 million in California, 10 million in New York, 400,000 here, 500,000 there. And primarily the basis of these lawsuits is that the Fair Labor Standards Act, which dates back to 1938, is kind of a one-size-fits-all piece of federal legislation. Obviously, it was well intended when it was designed to prevent people from working in the fields all day. And I think the original minimum wage that was sought by President Franklin Roosevelt back when he was doing his New Deal legislation was $11 a week. Needless to say, we're a long way from there. But because this legislation does not provide any accommodation for the unique business models that gentlemen's clubs have, where a performer will come in, either scheduled or unscheduled, and at her own volition use the resources of the club, the liquor license, the advertising, the physical structure, the furnishings and fixtures, and be able to make her own living, because she was not being paid out of the gross receipts of the club, somehow she was not being characterized as an employee, and we end up getting these lawsuits where various law firms are exploiting this technical difficulty and taking advantage of the fact that the Fair Labor Standards Act just has no accommodation whatsoever for this business model and what most of the gentlemen's clubs of today use in the dancer-tenant agreement, leases, etc. Now, what Froliic has designed is a software that will provide the club with the ability to keep track of a performer and actually have her characterized as a commissioned salesperson. It's different than the freewheeling aspects of what the industry has embraced for many years, much to its detriment through all of the awards and the damages that I earlier described. But it provides a basis for the club to keep track of the dancer's time, pay her as a commissioned salesperson, and be able to avoid the pitfalls, hopefully, of any litigation under the Fair Labor Standards Act. Now, obviously, there's a transitional period, but the problem will continue to exist. There's no light at the end of the tunnel that Congress or any other effort will be made to change the Fair Labor Standards Act to accommodate any of this. And obviously, with the new regime in place, there will be many, many new decisions that favor the employee over the employer. So where we are is you have an opportunity where you can use the software created by Froliic to keep track of these issues and come up with a business model that comes as close as possible to the least amount of expense for the club and the most reward for the performer, who would then become official. Oftentimes, clubs are asked to write letters to say what a performer or a dancer would possibly make so that she can buy a car or get an apartment or do other things that, quite honestly, because of the informal relationship, what Froliic will do is it provides them evidence of income that they can use for their own benefit. And obviously, there are a number of different features that should be described, but essentially, this is an opportunity for gentlemen's club owners to address this issue, to be able to sleep at night, and to try to avoid the pitfalls, the victimization, and quite honestly, the ability of plaintiffs' lawyers to hold gentlemen's clubs responsible for damages and awards and settlements that quite honestly are just not appropriate and are monumental, staggering, inappropriate. This gives you a chance to try to fix things. So take a look at the Froliic program. Talk to the people associated with Froliic. They'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have in this regard, but it's very easy and it's very helpful, and quite honestly, it might help you sleep at night and save a lot of problems. So based on that, thank you, be well, and have a great expo, and have a wonderful day.